I don't know. I don't know. But Vergil, he's right there. He's right there. He's been proven that he belongs with the top fighters in the division. And, who knows? A couple of fights or next fight or whatever the case may be.
Terence Crawford has finally answered Vergil. Ortiz's call-out following his victory over Erickson Lubin, the undisputed super middleweight champion, said Ortiz was overreaching, but added that if he is willing to move up 2 weight classes, he will consider giving him the opportunity.
If he's still willing to do it, because that's a fight that I've been calling for a while. I think that's a great fight to make happen still.
I'm at 168, and I don't go back to divisions I've already left, he said. If he wants it that badly, he needs to make the big jump up here, and let's make it happen. Vergil Ortiz may be ready to do just that. After stopping Lubin, Ortiz made his intentions clear at the post-fight press conference, saying, "I'm here to fight the best. I don't care who it is. It could be Boots next, Spence next, or Crawford next if he's still willing."
Terence Crawford right now?
I would love to fight him, man. I think he's like probably the #1 pound for pound fighter right now.
Do you think he's out of his peak?
No.
Or is he in his peak now?
I think he's in his peak.
And you're saying you could be the peak prime Terence Crawford?
I'm saying I believe that I can.
That's a fight I've been calling for a while. I still think it's a great fight to make. I'm just going to keep doing what I do best, and that's being me. Following his second-round knockout of Erickson Lubin, Vergil Ortiz Jr. has Terence Crawford, Yaron Ennis, and other big names on his radar. Ortiz improved his undefeated record to 2-4-0 with 22 knockouts and is now targeting a major fight next, with fans long eager to see him face Ennis. After the Lubin bout, Boots and Ortiz faced off in the ring, where Ennis announced his arrival at 154 pounds after a first-round knockout win over Wiz Mama.
No, I respect him as a fighter, though. That's the thing. When I want to fight people, it doesn't mean that, oh, I don't like you. Like, let's get it on. It's more like I respect your skills, and I want to see if I can beat you.
Ortiz delivered an equally dominant performance, arguably against a tougher opponent, making a matchup between Ortiz and Ennis a massive fight right now. Following the win over Lubin, both De La Hoya and Ortiz spoke about what could be next. Robert Garcia also believes Vergil Ortiz Jr. has several options beyond Yaron Boots. Ennis after the knockout of Erickson Lubin.
It would do really good numbers on pay-per-view because they should put it on pay-per-view. I think it'll do really good numbers on pay-per-view, and the gate would be...
Ortiz needed only 2 rounds to stop Lubin, improving to 24-0 and securing the second defense of his WBC interim super lightweight title. The win led to a face-off with Ennis in the ring, hinting that a matchup between the 2 title holders could be next. However, Ortiz's trainer Robert Garcia believes there are options beyond just Ennis. "We're ready for anybody, but we have a lot of options," Garcia said after the fight via SB Nation.
Named your GOAT as Bud Crawford, and I think a lot of folks were surprised. This is obviously a contemporary, somebody you called out in the past. Why did you rank him as your GOAT?
Well, I think this is going to sound there was a little bit of a misunderstanding. I thought I could only choose one person for GOAT. So
Sebastian Fundora is our mandatory, so we'd love to take that fight as well. Errol Spence was here, Jermel Charlo was here, and Boots is here too. Any of those big fights can happen. We're ready for all of them. Ortiz currently holds the WBC interim 154-pound title, with Fundora recognized as the regular champion. A unification bout makes sense, though Fundora is still being linked to former champion Keith Thurman. Garcia believes that no matter who Ortiz faces next, the fight will headline a major pay-per-view, adding that his fighter has already become a PPV attraction and is on the verge of international superstardom.
Crawford was there in the corner, and you were calling him out. Well, you were saying, hey, I will take a fight, because they asked you, would you like to take a fight with Crawford? Yeah, I would like to take a Crawford with him. And, moving to today, obviously with his performance against Canelo, do you feel like a fight with Crawford is closer more than ever now?
First I'll answer.
I think this is the perfect moment for Vergil, a Mexican-American, to become a pay-per-view star, the guy everyone wants to challenge. because it's the biggest fight for them. Garcia said, "We have options. If it's Boots, great, because that's a huge fight. The same goes for Spence, Charlo, Fundora, or Xander Zayas. They're all massive fights." And that's how a Mexican-American becomes a superstar. Eddie Hearn and Ennis were ringside for Ortiz Jr. versus Lubin, and De La Hoya later suggested they should not have attended, implying that Boots might now be hesitant to face Ortiz Jr. "I'm actually skeptical," De La Hoya said. "I told Eddie and Boots not to come watch Vergil live because you're going to be afraid of what you see."
He's against Jerron Boots Ennis.
I think this is the fight that has to happen, man. I think this is it.
It's the best fight in boxing. I think he did a great job. He looked good. But I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. And I'm going to show his team they've been talking all crazy.
I'm going to sit down with Eddie Hearn. We obviously have the upper hand because Vergil is the better man. And we'll see if we can come to terms, which I'm sure we will, De La Hoya said. He added that Ennis may look to take another tune-up fight after seeing the danger Ortiz presents. The Golden Boy boss also noted that Ortiz wants to secure the right financial terms for a potential matchup with Boots, who is widely regarded as one of the best fighters in boxing today.
You know, if it's a good fight, if I feel like it's gonna be a great fight, which of course with Crawford, that's a no-brainer for sure. We got to get past this fight and we can talk about the future.
WBC interim super welterweight champion Vergil Ortiz Jr. showcases explosive power once again, stopping Erickson Lubin just 1 minute and 30 seconds into the second round at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. The victory extended Ortiz's undefeated record and sent a clear message to the division. From the opening bell, Ortiz controlled the pace and demonstrated his power. Lubin managed to survive the first round, but in the second, Ortiz landed a precise combination that pinned Lubin against the ropes, forcing the referee to stop the fight.
And I'm going to back it up and I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. But like I said,
No one's been talking crazy, bro. Your dad is the first one that said that I was ducking. It's on video. It is on video that he said we ducked and we didn't get an offer.
it don't matter. The time is now. It's that time. Let's get this money and let's make this fight.
Ortiz's dominant showing further highlighted his ability to end fights decisively. His explosive power and pinpoint accuracy have established him as one of the most feared punchers in the super welterweight division, building anticipation for his next major challenge among the elite. In a separate interview, Terence Crawford was asked about his next fight and revealed he plans to compete in 2026. He indicated that Dmitry Bivol is likely his next opponent, with discussions reportedly ongoing behind the scenes. "I'm definitely not going back to 154, and I'm not moving up to 175.160 is the plan, and Bivol is my target right now," Crawford said. That's the only fight for legacy at this point.
168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
Right, not now. It's at 175, yeah.
he probably can't even make it.
This contrasts with the matchups others have been calling for. After Crawford's victory, Saudi sports official Turki Al-Sheikh suggested a potential mega fight against David Benavidez, questioning whether the former champion could still make the 168-pound limit. Benavidez had previously pursued a super middleweight title shot against Canelo, but never received it, later moving up to light heavyweight. With Crawford now the undisputed 168-pound champion, a fight between the two will give Benavidez a long-awaited chance at a major title. Analysts note that while Benavidez holds a physical size advantage, Crawford's recent performance against Alvarez makes him the clear favorite.
He's the man right now. He's the top gun. He's, I know you got him, Inoue, and Usyk. They all belong in those three. But Crawford probably just put himself on the top of the hill.
It does matter because you said that we're the ones talking. We're not the ones talking. Oh, we started talking after you guys started talking. It's retaliation. It's retaliation.
Your manager's talking all crazy. Oscar's talking crazy. It's the time, and they're going.
Despite Crawford's decision, some speculate that he may be nearing retirement. He recently became the first male boxer to achieve undisputed champion status in 3 different weight classes, has faced nearly every top fighter in those divisions, holds an undefeated record, and likely earned 9 figures from his fights with Canelo. In other words, he has little left to prove. However, as one of the sport's biggest stars, retiring now would mean leaving substantial money on the table. Not only is a lucrative rematch with Canelo possible, but Crawford also has the opportunity to fight anyone from 154 to 174 pounds if he chooses.
But when you look at these fights, you know, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, you know, say, all right, you know, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off, you know. But me personally, I believe
Teddy Atlas, one of boxing's most respected voices, discussed Crawford's next career move on a recent episode of his The Fight with Teddy Atlas podcast. The world is his and whatever he chooses, Atlas said of Crawford. He's earned it. He is the man right now. He's the top gun. Crawford has probably put himself at the top of the pound-for-pound list, on top of the hill, top of the mountain. Now he gets to choose. Atlas added, he wants to go down in weight. He doesn't want to stay up there. He wants to go down to 160. I always worry about when you put that much muscle on and then come back down, because it's hard to lose muscle.
He's just... to the victor goes the spoils, baby. He gets to choose. He's special. He showed that. Now he gets to choose. He wants to go down. He doesn't want to stay up there. He wants to go...
But he's smart. His team is smart. At the end of the day, he's smart. He's not going too far. He's only dropping 8 pounds. He can do that without hurting himself physically. So it's entirely up to him. It seems Atlas would rather Crawford not return to the lower weight divisions after finding success at 168 pounds, given the smaller weight cut required to make super middleweight. Crawford likely prefers the same approach.
Him, you know, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same, you know,
I want and I need. So after I do my thing, you know, Saturday night and be victorious, you know, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out. You know, only main event headlines and pay-per-view headline, pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Your skills against their
Matchroom boxing head Eddie Hearn said talks were ongoing for Crawford to take on former unified welterweight champion Jiren Ennis, who's getting ready to make his 154-pound debut on October 11th against Wismal Lima. Terence. Crawford versus Jiren Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing, Hearn told reporters on Wednesday. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford to get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that it is a real fight. For me, Boots is the new Crawford. We just have to go out and get the fights to show how great he is.
Stylistically would be, oh my goodness, it's a fight between Terence Crawford and Jerron Boots Ennis.
I don't think I think that's going backward for Terence.
To that point, Jerron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass and all these. So this fight was perfect timing for both these.
During Crawford's post-fight press conference, when Jiren Boots Ennis was mentioned as a potential opponent, the 5-division champion initially stated he wouldn't fight Ennis because he's not returning to the junior middleweight division. For the bout to happen, Ennis would need to move to Crawford's weight class. The problem is, Crawford will only fight for big money, and only certain fights generate that kind of money, Hearn explained. You're talking about a different animal in Terence Crawford, a guy whose IQ in the ring is off the charts. You have to be extremely experienced and well-schooled to compete with him. That's why I said I like the Boots fight.
You know, we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, you know, and, you know, it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible, if you work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have.
Ennis was a former 147-pound IBF mandatory challenger for Crawford before moving up to 154 pounds last year to defeat Israel Madrimov for the WBA title. With that win, Ennis was elevated from interim to full champion by the sanctioning body and later became both the ring and WBA champion by stopping Eontez Johnson in April. While preparing for his fight against Wiz Malma, Ennis also acted as a skilled sparring partner for Alvarez as he trained for Crawford.
Don't lie or kept to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called and we said You never heard nothing else back about it. So
right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be.
But even the high-level training couldn't elevate Alvarez enough, as the Mexican star admitted after his defeat that his body let him down. It was an amazing performance by Terence Crawford, Hearn said. I'm gutted for Canelo, but I'm actually pleased that Crawford is finally getting the opportunity to show how great he is, because his resume hasn't fully reflected that. Don't get me wrong, he's had some big wins, but he could have beaten many more of the elite fighters from his era. To do that at 38 is impressive.
Were you surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing, anything happen.
No doubt. My other question for you is, with this win, everybody said Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion. So.
We have a tendency to retire people too early. I think it's a great way to go out, but I actually believe Crawford can move down and win a world title at 160, which would make him a 6th division champion, Hearn said. Canelo Alvarez fought hard for the victory, but Terence Crawford had other plans. Over 70,000 fans attended Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and more than 41 million viewers tuned in on Netflix as Crawford secured a close yet decisive win over Alvarez.
Kill me if I don't ask you, right?
What?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, y'all. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was probably 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1 and some change.
Among the millions of viewers was Yaron Boots. Ennis, the 28-year-old from Philadelphia, has called out Crawford multiple times and has often been compared to the future Hall of Famer.
I think Crawford's going to get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
He says that till he goes to Canelo's.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
This is going to help Canelo. He's sparring against a great fighter, world champion in Enos, and like I said before, iron sharpens iron. And maybe it will. But on the other side, it was interesting to hear your side of how, whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into such a big fight?
In an interview, Crawford reflected on times when critics questioned his career. It's crazy, because when I was with Top Rank, a lot of people were saying, he's broke, he's this and that. I was getting paid well, but I thought, I don't have to box. I could retire. You all box because you want to. I box because I love it.
Fight. .42-0, waving to the crowd, pumping his fists like he does so well.
And a kid on his lap. I love it. Guys, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but it's hard to hear anything because it is loud. The city of Omaha is out. Bud Crawford making his way to the heartland of America.
My opinion is I like who I like. I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Renell Whitaker.
What do you think?
I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard. And James Toney. So they my top guys that I've been watching.
He then reflected on his lasting legacy. 100 years from now, they're going to talk about that kid from Omaha, Nebraska, Bud Crawford, how he moved up 2, actually 3 divisions, and beat Canelo Alvarez. With conviction, my name is going to be remembered and talked about long after I'm gone. That's what legacy is all about.
I figured it being so close to the fight too as well. You know, you're kind of like tunnel vision when it comes to your opponent. And the only reason why I ask is because, you know, Turkey had mentioned that if Teo gets past Barboza, we could see a fight with you and Teofimo. I know Top Rank tried to make that fight as well. So I was just curious.
Crawford's words carry personal weight, and only the coming decades will determine if that promise endures. In Omaha, there was already a sense of conviction. This was no routine victory parade, but a celebration of identity, memory, and expectation. His hometown had become both his amplifier and co-author. Meanwhile, it's no secret that Ennis struggles to make the 147-pound limit, which prompted his move up to junior middleweight. I think the big question is whether Boots stays at 147. If I'm honest, Hearn told Boxing Scene
of Teofimo as a fighter.
He's a good fighter. You know, good fighter. That's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to add or anything like that.
No. I say he's a good fighter. That's about it.
Okay. You know, Brian Norman Jr. got a knockout win. I know you guys tried to make a fight previously. He had mentioned
the performance was great, but the numbers weren't as strong, Hearn said. It's tough because I think Boots feels he'll perform much better at 154. For the latest updates on boxing news, events, and highlights, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel and turning on notifications to catch all our quality content.